gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to.
Welcome back to Triple Off Sports Talk. I'm Josh. No Bryce. That's Roy. Just going to be me and Roy here today. And college football week 0 happened last week. One game, really, that we're going to talk about. Other than that, not a whole lot. Week 1 for college football actually starts tomorrow for us. We're doing this on Wednesday instead of our usual Tuesday. So Thursday, there's actually quite a few games. I learned that today.
Yeah.
But then, Saturday is, the heyday. And then starting next week, Monday, we'll jump into NFL game week. Even though there's not a game on Monday, it's still game week. So we are going to go over our predictions for the NFL season, standings-wise for each division. We're going to do some hot takes in the NFL. We're going to roll those over into TikTok, make some clips. And I think we're also going to cover a little bit of baseball there at the end. It's just dog days of summer at this point. So, Roy, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first. Let's go by division, and let's start over in the AFC, okay? Let's go AFC East. What do you have the division being?
All right, so I am going to go. Mine might be a little bit different than normal. I'm going to have the Jets winning the division. I think with a good quarterback and a defense. I have Buffalo number 2, Miami 3, and then New England number 4.
Okay. After this one, we'll start from bottom to top, but that's fine. That's totally fine. I'll go Bryce's. Now, this is not mine. This is Bryce's. I have his stuff. Bryce has, and I'll go first to fourth like you did for this one. He has Dolphins in first, winning the division. He has the Jets in second. He's got the Bills in third, and he has the Patriots in fourth. Now I'll go to my AFC East. I as well agree with you. I have the Jets in first, Roy.
Right. Yeah.
I do. I have the Dolphins in second. I have the Bills in third, and the Patriots in fourth.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins and Bills will be that's the. I think the Jets have it, but those two will fight out for second or third.
Yeah, I mean, if the Jets stay healthy, I think they have it. I agree. Their injury woes do scare me. Maybe not even just Rodgers, but in general. But I can see it. Let's go down to the AFC North, and most people agree that this is maybe the best division in football from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So I'll go Bryce's first. In the AFC North, Bryce in fourth place has the Pittsburgh Steelers. He then has the Cleveland Browns in third. He then has the Cincinnati Bengals in second. And winning the division, he has the Baltimore Ravens. Roy, I'll let you go second. What do you got?
Okay, I got Cleveland fourth, Pittsburgh third, Cincinnati second, and then I have Baltimore winning the division.
Okay. I will do mine next. I have Pittsburgh in fourth as well. I also have the Browns in third. I have the Bengals in second, and I have the Ravens in first. So me and Bryce do have the same rankings, and then Roy just switched Browns and Steelers.
Yep.
Let's go down south to the AFC South, an up-and-coming division in this year's league. I'll go first on this one. I got the Titans in the cellar at fourth. I then have the Colts at third. And I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be closer than people think, but I do have the Jags in second and the Texans in first. A lot of people have the Texans running away. I don't. I have it very close. But I do think they will edge them out. I'll go to Bryce next. Bryce has the Colts in last. He then has the Titans in third, Jags in second, and the Texans in first. Roy?
I have the Titans last, Colts third, Jacksonville second, and then Houston winning.
I have the same as you for that.
Yeah.
And let's go over to the West. AFC West, back-to-back Super Bowl champions reside in there. I'll go Bryce first. Bryce has Broncos in last, Raiders in third, Chargers in second, and Chiefs winning it again. Roy, I'll let you go next.
I have Kansas City last. I'm just kidding. Just thought I'd throw that. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I have the Raiders in last. I have Denver third, the Chargers second, and then the KFC, and then KC.
KFC. Oh, Lord.
KFC. I will say that KFC, as much as I don't like them,
yeah,
I'll go with them.
I actually have the Broncos in last. I have the Chargers in third. I have the Raiders going up to second. And I have the Chiefs coming in at first. I think Minshew Mania can keep them in ball games. I just do. Keep them in ball games.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I do not.
So that's what we have for the NFC. Let's go over the NFC. We'll do the NFC West first. We'll go west to east.
I don't want to do the East.
No, we'll save them. I'll go first on the NFC West. I have the Cardinals finishing in last. I have the Seahawks in third. I have the Rams in second. And I have the 49ers in first. Bryce, for the NFC West, has the Cardinals in last, Seahawks in third, Rams in second, and 49ers in first, same as I do. Roy?
I have the Cardinals in last, Seahawks third. I have the 49ers second, and the Rams winning the division.
Wow, that's a bold statement there, Roy. I like it.
I think that'll be a little. I think that Matthew Stafford and them will have a better year this year.
Okay, well, let's go NFC South. Roy, I'll let you go first.
Considering the worst division, maybe. I am going to
probably.
go. I think it'll be. I have it as New Orleans last.
Okay.
Carolina third, Tampa second, and Atlanta winning.
Okay, I almost did what you did, Roy, but I didn't. I still don't think the Panthers are better than the Saints, but I would not be shocked if that flipped. I really wouldn't.
It's just
I think the Panthers are better than what people will give them credit for this season. I do have the Panthers in last. I do have the Saints in third. I also have the Bucks in second, and I do have the Falcons. Falcons jersey on, by the way, winning the division because they have the best running back in football. Bryce in the NFC South has the same as I do. Panthers, then Saints, then Bucks, then Falcons. So we all have the Falcons winning and given Bucks, who won the division last year, in second. So let's go to the North. I'll go first with this one.
I'd say do Bryce.
No, I'll leave Bryce's for last. I have the Vikings in last. I have the Bears in third. I have the Packers in second, and I have the Lions in first. Roy?
I'm going to go Bears last just because I can't do that. Minnesota third, Green Bay, and then Detroit winning the division.
Okay. Bryce, and when he sent this, he put in parentheses, best division in football.
Yeah.
He's got last place Vikings. He's got third place the Detroit Lions. He's got second place the Green Bay Packers, and in first place the Chicago Bears.
I knew that's what he was going to do. He was going to put the Bears at the top, but I was wondering where he was going to put the Lions. I figured he put Lions last just because.
I will say, Roy, I think the Packers and the Bears are going to be very close record-wise. Now, I'm not saying they're as good of a team. I'm just saying record-wise, I think they could be flip-flopping very close. I would be pretty shocked if the Lions drop out and don't win it.
I think Green Bay and the Lions will be close, and the Bears will be average. They won't. Yeah. I really don't think Swift's going to be that great running back, and I'm not a Caleb Williams fan, so I think he'll struggle. Now, do I think they're going to be last? I put them last because Bryce thinks they're that great. So.
Yeah. And then we'll go to where the best team in football plays, the NFC East.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll go with Bryce. Yeah, okay. I'll let Bryce go first. He's got the Giants in last. The Commanders in third, coming up a spot. He's got the Cowboys finishing second, and he has the Eagles winning the division. Roy, I'll let you go next.
I have the exact same. Giants, Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles.
I don't have the exact same, Roy.
Shocker.
I got the Giants in fourth. I got the Commanders in third. I got the Eagles second, and I got the Cowboys winning the division. I do, without a doubt. Okay. Those are our division predictions. Again, it's early. One of the teams it happens every year, goes from last to first. So we're not going to be right because, maybe Bryce can pull it off with the Bears. I think that's the only one he had going for. I think they finished last, yeah, because they had the 9th pick. But one team will surprise, a good team will get hurt and just fall. It's just how it happens in football. It's really hard to predict football well in advance because it doesn't matter what's on paper. You can get out coached and still lose a game. So those are our projections. So we'll check in halfway through the year and see like what our standings look like and kind of think about it. But we have some hot takes for you. Football starts basically a week from now when you guys are seeing this. Thursday Night Football will be coming on a week. And Roy, I'm going to start with you. Give me a hot take for this NFL season that people aren't talking about or aren't thinking.
Well, I'll give you 2. I think 3 teams out of the AFC North will make the playoffs. Is my number one, is what I think.
So, in your eyes, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers / Browns.
I think Steelers.
You had Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will make the playoffs. So that just leaves a few other teams left. My other one is.
Yeah, that's a lot.
My other hot take: Blake Corum, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
That's going to require an injury.
No, I think he'll move ahead. I think he'll move ahead of Williams when it's all said and done.
Okay. I'll go. So I have a couple of my friends that I asked for some hot takes. So I wanted more than just me, Roy, and Bryce's. So I'll rip some of them. My friend Daryl, who we had on the podcast, Roy, he was the Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked him for a hot take. His was plain and simple. Jets win the AFC. Go to the Super Bowl. Maybe not so much of a hot take, but definitely not. People back-to-back Super Bowl champions are the Kansas City Chiefs. I count that as a hot take because most people aren't going to say that.
Yeah,
most people would say they're good, but will go all the way through and make it to the Super Bowl. I can give that. Monocle, Kyle, Seahawks fan we had on after me and him went to the Seahawks game. Asked him. He said, Bo Nix take the Broncos to a 12-5 record and make the playoffs.
Was he drinking when he made that comment?
No, he did. All these were today. So pretty big hot take.
Yeah.
He likes Bo Nix a lot. I know that. He's a Seahawks fan. He was really hoping they would get him, but didn't happen. My friend, I call him Nims. His name's Nick Miller. He has not been on the podcast. Bryce won't like this one. Jaden Daniels outplays Caleb Williams this season. Now, it wasn't career. It said this season. He goes, this season he will outperform him.
Hey, J.J. McCarthy will outperform Caleb Williams this year, and he's hurt.
Oh, he's done for the year, buddy. I will ask. Or you know what? I'll go next. I'll skip these two because some of these last two I actually think nobody have talked about, but one of them could definitely happen. The other one is Bryce's, and I just think it's funny. I'll go next.
Right.
I think the Russell Wilson Justin Fields experiment fails completely, along with Arthur Smith, former Falcons head coach, as their offense coordinator, and the Steelers finish with the number 1 pick and move on from Mike Tomlin.
Never finished below 500.
Never had Russell Wilson or Justin Fields as a player.
And he'll be just fine.
The defense will save them, but if TJ Watt gets hurt, that defense gets hurt a little bit, that offense is going to be in trouble. That's a hot take. You can't have something that is guaranteed to happen. My friend Blake, one of the Kentucky fans that was on our podcast. I love this one. I sure as hell hope this happens. Barkley experiment in Philadelphia fails. Eagles miss the playoffs. And everyone thinks that's crazy. The last time the Eagles signed a big-name running back was DeMarco Murray out of Dallas, and he played 7 games there, and they cut him.
Yeah, so, Barkley's way better than Murray.
Well, Murray had better stats going to Philly than Barkley did.
No, because Barkley's playing for a shitty team.
Still put up pretty mediocre stats.
I know how you want to say because Murray was a Cowboy and blah, 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 whatever.
He was a damn good Cowboy, too. And I saved the best for last. I don't even think this would happen even if this person played so bad. But, God, it is crazy to think about if it did happen. And, Roy, you are not going to like this. This leads into Bryce's standing predictions as well. Jared Goff is benched for Hendon Hooker as the Lions quarterback. Now, they just gave him an extension. I don't think they would bench him in any world. I think they would just ride him. But, whatever. I like it. It's something crazy that I had never read before. So,
yeah.
my goal with this, Roy, is for one prediction to be semi-correct. Doesn't have to be exact. Maybe like the Jets go to the AFC Championship game and maybe lose, but you're like, damn, they did make it. So I'm going to hold on to this as well. I'm going to save this episode in the archives, try to see if we can get anything out of it. I don't have anything much for NFL. This week, again, is not a game week, so it's a slow week. This is really the college football week, and then after this, no one talks about college football.
Hell yeah, we do. For the rest of the year.
Yeah. So I think we're just going to roll right into college football. You all right with that, Roy?
Hell yeah, my favorite right here. We're going into this.
All right, Roy, take it over.
So college football, which it started last week, 0 week was last week. Let's first go into the only game really that meant anything was in Dublin, Ireland. Florida State versus Georgia Tech. You got any takes on that, Josh?
No, I mean, I didn't watch the game. I did see highlights of it, and I actually did watch the last 2 minutes, the last couple drives. Because I actually didn't think it'd be close. That's why I didn't watch. We talked about it last week, Roy, a little bit. You play in Ireland, something that's not, familiar with those college students. Some of those kids are fresh out of high school, getting on a plane to go to Ireland. They have not played an atmosphere like that. It isn't like a home game for Florida State, but Florida State looked good early. Georgia Tech made adjustments, and Florida State could not answer those adjustments. They never made the other adjustment. Florida State's better than Georgia Tech in general. I really am not a high believer in that quarterback for Florida State, Ugalagale or whatever. He really burned out in Clemson after being a top-tier prospect. Went to Oregon State, where who watches Oregon State? Nobody.
Yeah,
they were good, but nobody watches them. There's no pressure. Goes to Florida State. Guess what? There's pressure. Just look bad. Now, I'm not saying it's all his fault. I also think they got out coached, which is shocking because Mike Norvell is historically a very good coach. So I just think they got out coached, and shout out to Georgia Tech. That's a big win.
Yeah. I mean, Florida State, I've watched a lot of the game. Florida State just shot themselves in the foot as much as possible they could. They were just, throwing had a wide open touchdown pass. You throw it short. Just things. I know it rained. You can say that it was in Ireland stuff. Georgia Tech's that team, though, that if you just don't play well and don't finish the game, they'll beat you. And that's what happened to Florida State. And now, yeah, I agree. I think they got out coached, which is hard because, Norvell is a good coach. Yeah. And, that's what that right there shows you. Florida State had probably double the talent that Georgia Tech had.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Coaching comes down. It comes down to coaching. And if you can't coach yourself to a win and you let just little things here and there, you miss field goals. You do. Just things happen. And that's just what kills you. It's one loss. That's the good thing about this 12-team playoff. Florida State, I still think will win the ACC. But I wasn't impressed with DJ. So I think I hope. I don't really care if Florida State makes playoffs or not, but I'd have them in there if right now. But I 1-1. You got a long way to go.
Yeah, and one loss won't knock you out. I don't even know if two will, especially one being this early. This isn't right before the playoff picture that hurts. Like Georgia happened last year, they lost one right at the end, and it killed them. You much rather lose early.
12. That's the good thing about the 12. Yeah. You get your only 5 teams or 6 teams technically, 5 conference champions, and then the one outside of the top 5. You get one of those gets in. So the rest of it's up for grabs. So Florida State, as long as they continue to improve and get better, ACC is not that strong, so they have a chance. They could still be doing it. So, all right. So we move on. We're gonna go to some of the games this week. We talked about some of these games. I guess did we talk? We didn't talk about them last week. Like I said, tomorrow night starts some games. We'll just start with tomorrow night. Let's go start with Clemson versus Georgia. That is a highly ranked. All these games we're going to talk about besides our teams that we watch. This is going to be a good game. I'll go first with Clemson, Georgia. This is the beginning of the end, in my opinion, of Samuel, or what's his name?
Dabo Swinney.
Dabo Swinney. I think this is the end of him. I think he's a great coach. I think he's just lost. He hasn't had a good quarterback that could help him since Trevor Lawrence, and that's what's killed him. He's had some great defenses. His offense has sputtered and sputtered and sputtered for weeks, for years, and it's just this is gonna. And Georgia they're known for their defense, and they're gonna run the ball right down their throat, and that's what they do. Georgia never has great quarterback play, and that's what gets them in trouble in games. But then when you can run the ball, which they will be able to do against Clemson, I think it'll be close early. But then I think Georgia will end up winning it by 2, maybe 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't know, the individual players well enough. It's too early. They're, a lot of these, especially you look at Georgia and Clemson, those are guys that lose people to the draft every year.
Yeah.
It's hard for, someone who isn't a real diehard fan of the team or maybe the conference or something like that to know the ins and outs and who's going to be there. I know Georgia returns their quarterback, Carson Beck, one of the higher-ranked players in the country. I do also know that Clemson, and I always forget this guy's name, it's like Kubalak or something like that. I'm not pronouncing it correct. But I do know he returns after supposedly being a highly touted prospect, and he played okay last year. Good games and bad games, but it was his first year starting. Sometimes I can give some leeway for that. I think this is game of the week. It's just two highly touted coaches, programs, and it's the problem with it though for me is it's in Georgia, not the college Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
It's in Atlanta, so yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons play. So Georgia's coming. It's basically going to be a home game for Georgia in that regard. Georgia steamrolled their way last year, and they lost one game to Alabama at the end of the season in the SEC championship by a score?
Yeah.
I just think Georgia's going to be too much. I think they return too much. And like you said, that defense for Georgia is just going to be too much for Clemson over the period of the game.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's the game of the week. I think this next one will be the game we're going to talk about Notre Dame against Texas A&M, because this is where I'll let you go first. Go ahead. You go first.
Again, you picked two teams here that I actually know very little about. I knew Notre Dame's quarterback last year, Sam Hartman. He's gone. He's into the NFL by now. I don't know much about Notre Dame. I know they're ranked more than Texas A&M, and Texas A&M the last few years have historically been a letdown for their ranking preseason. I know Texas A&M has a really, really good defense. Is this game at a neutral site or is it in A&M?
It's in A&M. It is at
to me, that's one of the hardest places to play in the country is Allen Field. Notre Dame has historically fallen short in big games. That's kind of been their thing. But again, I don't know enough about these teams to tell you the ins and outs and why. More unlike Clemson, Georgia, I know a little bit more. My gut would say A&M at home. But if that defense doesn't show up or that offense is non-existent for A&M, Notre Dame can squeak by with a low-scoring game because they've historically had good defenses as well.
So I know you don't know much about it, but Texas A&M they have a little more potent offense than what Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame can play defense. I'll give them that. That's the one thing they do. They have struggled on offense. Even with Hartman last year, they struggled offense. Under Freeman as their coach, it's just they have struggled consistently to put up numbers. I mean, they've won some games late against last year against Wisconsin, but they got a new quarterback in here this year. This game being at, like you said, at Kyle Field, hard place to win at. This is where I think Notre Dame's going to go in I think I really don't know how close it'll be. I'm going to look at the spread. The spread was, if I get back to it, the spread is only 3 points, A&M. I would take that 3 points. I really think it'll actually be higher than that. Okay. Notre Dame's the higher ranked team. This is where the college football gets them in trouble because they're not a conference team.
Yeah.
Even though they play in ACC. So they have a tough schedule because they still got to play USC and stuff. So if they lose this one off the bat, that could get them in trouble. Who cares? They may lose one late down the road. I think Texas A&M they're SEC. I think they're going to come in here, or they're going to have Notre Dame come in and being a 6:30 night game. It's that place is going to be loud and rocking.
Yeah, and you talk about the conferences, Roy, and I agree with you completely on the Notre Dame thing. But if you're Texas A&M, this is a game you can't lose, in my opinion. You can't start the season with a loss. That's just first of all not good for the program. You can't lose at home against a ranked team that in theory should probably beat, but still you're at home. And you are in the SEC. You don't have an easy schedule. It doesn't matter if you have a light SEC schedule the way it's booked now. That's a hard – Notre Dame can't be the team that starts you off with one loss because if you're A&M and you don't make the SEC championship, 2 losses might knock you out. I'm not saying it will, but it could if you don't even get a chance to play in an SEC championship. I would say if A&M loses 3, they're probably out at that point. I mean,
It just depends. I mean,
Yeah,
this could be the
it's
first year
new.
you're gonna have a
Yeah.
judgment about where things
I
are.
agree. So, but still, you don't want to lose 1 to Notre Dame at home.
No.
So, yeah, it's a bigger game for for A&M in that theory, but it's a big game for Notre Dame because Notre Dame wins that.
They're probably set themselves for a pretty good run
with an
for the
easier
playoff.
schedule.
Yeah. All right. The other one, another game we're going to talk about is, which I don't think will be close, other than it's a 4-point game for LSU. LSU 13 against 23 USC. I'll just go first here. I just don't. USC will put up with their new quarterback. I just don't see them putting up enough points to just compete with LSU. USC has never had a quarter. Lincoln Riley has never had a defense in any of the years he's ever coached at Oklahoma. And anytime he plays against an SEC team, he struggles.
Yeah,
because and then that's what I think he's going to have problems with in the Big Ten is you play deep. You play teams that play defense.
Yeah,
you can have this flashy, all these movements and stuff, and be great at offense. But guess what? You're going to be tough up front, and that's not USC. They have not been that way for years. Lincoln Riley has not had the team. I don't. It's it's in a neutral site in Vegas.
It is in Vegas. I knew that.
I just think LSU's done this every year. They play in a neutral site, the first game of the year, and it's always close for some reason. And I think this year LSU is going to go in. I'm not a Brian, whatever his name, fan for freaking LSU as coach. But
what's his name?
Brian.
God, I can see his face too.
Yeah, and I can't stand this son of a bitch. Now you're gonna make me look it up because
I got it. Brian Kelly.
Gosh dang it! I can't believe I can't even remember that game. But yeah, I think this will be. I think LSU wins this. I'm actually going to take the points because I think LSU wins.
Yeah, this one is a hard one for me to look at too. It's 2 programs that have kind of turned over. USC, they lose Caleb Williams, who they've had the last 2 years, been great there. LSU loses 2 Heisman candidates, 1 winner in Jane Daniels and then Malik Neighbors. And there's a lot of turnover. Again, I agree with you. I think LSU's defense is probably just too beefy. They can slow USC down. But on the turnaround, if USC doesn't get slowed down, I could see that being a problem for LSU because I don't know how high power LSU's offense will be. But it's because I don't know who they have. So the 2 teams that have lost a lot from last season. So I'm interested to see what their identities look like early.
Yep. And it's different when you got young kids coming in new.
Yeah. And the one thing that will help USC just a little, it is in Vegas, neutral site, but it's going to be harder for people from LSU to get out there than USC, in theory.
Yeah, in theory. All right, so we got 3 more games left. All these games are our favorite teams. We'll start out with who plays tomorrow night, Illinois versus Eastern. I'll let the Illinois fan go.
I learned that they played tomorrow for us. Yeah. Today it'll be today for you guys. Today for us. I was looking. I was like, "What time does Illinois play?" And I go, "Thursday." So that's tomorrow. So excited. First game of the year, Illinois. They always win this game. They always look pretty good. It's usually how it works. They play EIU. I would hope to God you don't lose to Eastern, even though Eastern has produced some pretty good quarterbacks in the NFL.
And they're supposed to win their division and be pretty good this year.
So hopefully, I hope it's not a good game, but I would like to see a little bit of a push rather than an absolute blowover because then it makes us work on stuff. Illinois, they've historically had good defenses and piss poor offenses. That's how it usually. That's the Big Ten for you right there. Sounds like the defense still has some question marks, but a lot of transfers at the receiver position for the first time in a long time. Returning quarterback that was a prospect at Ole Miss that transferred out because he lost a job to the current starter, Jackson Dart. So I'm excited.
Right?
Altmaier. I don't love Illinois' chances this year, especially in the new Big Ten. But if that offense can be a little bit more high-powered and more fun to watch, it'll make games more fun to watch. So,
yeah, I'm happy to be going to 2 Illinois games this year as of right now,
and we will be in attendance for one.
All of us together will be in attendance for one.
Yep.
I will be there for a work event in a couple weeks. So Illinois versus Eastern. Eastern's supposed to be decent. I hate that, when nothing against Illinois. I just hate when they play, Division I, AA or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts. But you know what? They hopefully, Illinois can do something because they got. I mean, the schedule this year is just tough for everybody in the Big Ten and the SEC. So they want to start off right, because if you come off not playing well in this game or losing, that would be bad. So
Yep.
All right, the next team we'll talk about is, for some reason, Bryce's favorite team is Tennessee versus Chattanooga. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Tennessee. I know they've lost everybody. They're projected to be pretty decent. They got Alabama coming home this year, and they're calling it the game that like 2 years ago when they won on the field goal. I don't think Tennessee's that good this year. I kind of hope they lose to Chattanooga just so I can just say hi, say nothing to Bryce.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gonna be a blowout. So, I don't know much about them. So
I also don't know a lot about Tennessee. I don't watch them. I have learned within the last 24 hours they have a projected top 5 pick in the NFL draft, a defensive end. I forgot his name.
I did,
but
read that.
I'm sure if you turn this game on or a Tennessee game on at any point, you will see this guy's name. So if I ever get around to watching a Tennessee game like live, I'd be intrigued to watch him. I like to watch NFL prospects in that regard. And I also do know, now again, I don't know his name, they have a very highly touted quarterback, like one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the country I want to say he was a freshman last year. I could be wrong. I don't think he's a true freshman this year. So I think he's been there for a year. He might have sat, but I hear good things about this quarterback. It's a weird name too. Are you looking it up, Roy?
I'm trying to look it up. Is it the Nico?
Nico. Yep, that's
Nico
that's the one I couldn't.
Lama Lave.
Okay, I see how to pronounce it. Iyamale Ava.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad
he was one of the top players in the 2023 recruiting class.
Good for them. Good for Tennessee.
And he received $8 million to go there, by the way, if you wanted to
nice.
know. God. But yeah, again, this game shouldn't be close. This is an SEC school. Still, at the end of the day, they should roll through Chattanooga.
They should. All right, and the last team we're going to go talk about, my boys, Michigan Wolverines, defending national champions, playing night game on Saturday. Cannot wait for this. I'll be in Kentucky watching this game, enjoying every bit of it against Fresno State. Michigan, I am excited. We got probably one of the top defenses coming back. Linebacker. I mean, we still got great defensive linemen. Will Johnson the outside, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant in the middle. I mean, this team defense is stacked. The question marks are on offense. Offensive line, we lost everybody, but we got some second tier guys that were role players last year who came in and helped. They're getting a starter. They've been looking good in practice from what I've been reading. Still got the man, Donovan Edwards, who is when he gets the ball, he can score anytime he wants. Got some good receivers. Still got Colson Loveland as they're saying the number 1 tight end. They're actually had him in the first pick. Yep. Picked in the first round in the NFL draft. So the question mark of the whole thing will be the quarterback. It was a battle between Tuttle and Alex Orji, but Tuttle got hurt, I think, about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago or whatever. So it's been Alex Orji. He's got so much time. I mean, 6'3", 240 or something like that. I mean, he is a big boy who can throw the ball 75 yards with ease, fast. I think he runs a 4.6 40, something like that, something crazy at that size.
Yeah.
But we've had this before. So we'll see. I hope it works out. I hope he's really good, and he at least can completely just keep us in games, because that defense will keep us in games. We just need him to finish right. But I can't wait. I'm so pumped. I cannot wait for this game on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. It's the most important position on the field. Your defense can keep you in games, but if you can't move the ball because of a quarterback situation, the team can load up the box and stop a run. Michigan, reigning champs, but they do lose a lot. They lose their head coach as well, Jim Harbaugh, which don't let that go unscathed. I mean, that's a former NFL coach. again, NFL coach who came to Michigan, a lot of experience, knows how to call plays, call games. Was it the D coordinator that gets the job?
No, the offensive coordinator, Sherman Moore, who coached the last three, who coached 4 games last year.
The D coordinator followed him.
D coordinator went with
I had it flipped. I actually thought it was the other way around.
No.
So offense coordinator gets it. I actually think that's better because he gets to continue to call plays the same way or a new way how he wants it. However, but yeah, the quarterback's going to come into play, and I think I'm not saying your whole season relies on it, but that quarterback needs to be good, or they can make a change and go to a new one. But you don't want your quarterback situation to be uncomfortable getting into conference play. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, no, I understand. My whole thing with Orji, we saw him a little bit last year. I'll give Jerome Moore, there were several times we just ran the ball. And everybody could say, hey, they stack 8, they stack 9, they stack whatever in the box. And Michigan will still run that ball down your throat as much as they can. And that's been the staple point of the offense. And Sherrone Moore, like I said, he was the head coach 4 games last year, the last 3 of the regular season, which were Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State, and he won all 4. He's smart. I think he's a very good coach. What I like and what I'm interested to see is our new defensive coordinator. Wink, man, was a Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator.
Your defense coordinator is Wink Martindale?
Yep, that is our new defensive coordinator, man.
Bro, get ready for them to be sending the house.
Oh, the stuff that he says and the stuff that he does and these different things, these schemes that he talks about, the dude is hilarious. And
Wink Martindale sends the house.
Oh, and man, I can't wait. He hadn't been in college football in like 20 years. And he's having more fun now because, you coach NFL players, they may know what they're doing, but you can't teach them stuff is what he was saying. Now he's teaching these kids. And these kids are like, this is Wink. And the way he does it is just fun. I'm excited about seeing that, seeing how he does things. The way off, we've kind of changed the offense a little bit too, which will be interesting. So it's going to be, I'm excited. As you can see, I'm pumped for it. I'm excited to see. I can't wait.
I'm excited to see them send 9 and have 2 in coverage.
It might happen.
That might be the first play of the game. He's going to go, hey, just send everybody.
Hey, he's had success, so I can't wait.
All right. Roy, you got anything else? Yep, you got anything else?
No, let's get it going. I can't wait.
All right. I think you ready for some MLB?
Sure.
All right. Let's move it on. First thing we're going to go over MLB, we're going to go over our draft. We are going to make our changes here. Bryce said he wants no changes. He likes his team. Roy, I'll go over the standings. These won't go into effect until the Sunday or Monday, whatever the first is. But we're going to do it here. Roy, you are in last place with 407 wins. Okay.
Man, I've had a bad 2 days.
And me and Bryce are tied. Wow. 420 and 420. Bryce has been, the Cubs are kind of on a little bit of a heater. The Padres and the Royals, Roy, they're about 40-6 in the last 2 weeks for them. So they've been rolling. The Royals just played the Guardians and took 4 or 5.
Yeah, I saw
that. Roy, you do have first pick if you'd like to make any changes.
I am. I'm getting rid of the Mets because they're going to have a tough road down the stretch. And I am going to pick up the Tigers.
Okay. I'll just put them right here. I know where your things are. I like to make it all look the same. All right. Bryce said he's good, so he will pass, and he is eliminated from making changes. And I am also going to be making a change. I'm going to be making a change up top. The former number 1 pick Atlanta Braves are gone. I'm taking the Arizona Diamondbacks. They haven't lost in 2 months.
Damn.
I almost did it last month too, Roy, and I didn't because I thought, the Braves are going to get hot. Boy, I should have made the change. It wouldn't even be a contest because I'd have 30 more wins. So the Diamondbacks are going into the Braves slot, and I will not be making any other changes, so I'm out. So, Roy, the field is yours.
I can't get rid of the Dodgers or Astros because they're hot right now.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's no other. I can't make any other change. I love to get rid of the Pirates, but I can't get rid of them for any of the tier 3 guys. So
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Okay, so that's going to do it for our draft changes. So the changes we have made will roll us into the final season. So it's been a long month or a long summer of baseball,
Hell
and our
yeah.
draft it gotten real close here late. So it's going to be an interesting last month.
Yeah,
So
I was
each
down to only
week
9 at one point, 9 to you and
you
3
were
to
down
Bryce.
like 4 a couple days ago.
Really, and I've had a bad couple of days, and that's what happened.
You have. I was actually down to Bryce by 4 today or yesterday, and I had a good yesterday and today. So
Jeez,
So those
all
are
right.
our changes. That's just going to roll us right into our standings. Roy, you want to go over the standings?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little different. I'm just gonna because win totals, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna say New York is leading the AL East. The Yankees are leading the East. 1 game back is Baltimore. 9.5 back is Boston. 12 games back is Tampa, and then Toronto is 13.5 back, which isn't too bad for. I think all teams have done pretty well. The Central, this has gotten tight. Cleveland leads the division. Kansas City is only 1 game back. They've had a pretty good. Minnesota is 3 games back. Detroit is 8.5, and then the White Sox are 44.5 back. The West, which Houston is trying to stretch its legs a little bit here. They're 3.5 ahead of Seattle. Texas is 9.5 back. Oakland is 13.5 back, and LA Angels are 16.5 back. Then we get who are 1 and 9 in the last 10.
Yeah.
NL East, Philly, Atlanta is 5.5 back. Mets are 8.5 back. Washington is 18, and Miami is 29.5. They might as well just give this NL Central to the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 8.5 games ahead of the Cubs, who've kind of been on a little heater too. 7-3 in their last 10. St. Louis is 10.5 back. Cincinnati's 12.5 back, and Pittsburgh, which has been struggling, is 14 games back.
Yep.
And then the West has become a fun one to watch. The Dodgers, who have been playing pretty well, are leading it, but Arizona, who is pretty close, is 3 games back, and so is San Diego, 3 games back. The Giants are 11.5, and Colorado is 29.5 games back. There's your standings.
Oh man, yeah. We got a month left, 4 weeks, Roy. We're getting tight here. For some of these, you have anything to say about those standings? Like anything that jumps at you?
Well, I mean, the one that gets me, I just don't know how it is. The Yankees and Baltimore, who have not played well. All right, everybody. No. They're both playing average baseball for the last month. I mean, average.
They're playing average baseball for their last 2.5 months.
And they are still, the Yankees are tied for the best record in baseball. And Baltimore's only game back. I just don't know how, I mean, it's like, I don't get it. It's how that the other teams are just not running away with it. I really thought Cleveland would, but Houston's starting to get back into this. The Phillies haven't done anything to get themselves going, and and the Dodgers are starting to win now, which they're starting to get the hot team.
They're getting healthy.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, Yankees. We just think if the Yankees had a closer, they would probably have about 8 more wins. Well, I mean, they've blown 13 games this year.
I mean, I think you can make that argument for everyone. If Baltimore had a rotation that didn't have 4 Tommy Johns, they'd have ran away with it probably. But it's the year of no one taking advantage of their opportunity. I mean, you look at Cleveland. New York and Baltimore were the best 2 teams in the American League for the first 3 months. And Cleveland stuck with them in an easier division on paper and could have ran away with it. Cleveland could have. They're a game out from not winning their division. So I did read that this was a few weeks ago, and I'm sure it's still on pace because no one started to get hot. The best ranked team in baseball is projected to have about 94 wins. No team even close to 100.
Yeah, I know. And I put 100 on 3 of the teams to win it. So
yeah. I would say the biggest thing that jumps out to me is you look at that AL Central. I mean, the Kansas City Royals are a game away from taking over in that division. I mean, and they're 3 games away from being a 1 seed in the American League.
Yeah.
I told you guys the Royals would be good. I didn't think they'd be this good, but
yeah, but Minnesota's right there with them, so
exactly. That AL Central has played well. Cleveland is starting to scare me. I really think they're going to give it up here soon. They just have not played good. Their hitting is abysmal, and Kansas City can pitch and hit. Now, maybe not at an elite level. I would say Cleveland pitches at an elite level, but Bobby Witt Jr. is having a terrific year there, and they're pitching well. And then, man, the NL West, you said it, it's getting tight and it's getting fun out there. Those are three teams, the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres. I'm going to be honest. I think at the moment, those are the best three teams in the National League.
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies have played okay. I still think the Phillies are really good, especially you get into that postseason atmosphere. I really think they can take off. But at the end of the day, you know, they've had the best record. I think they're in that cruising phase that can get people in trouble. Now, they're still going to get in, but,
yeah,
you know, you don't want to be playing bad baseball at the wrong time. And right now, this is the time. You know, you don't want to get hot too early. This is the time to start getting warm. And about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now is when you want to flip it. You know, you can get hot in those last 2 weeks and roll in. You can beat anybody. Hot team's better than a good team any day.
Yep.
And I mean, that's really all I have when it comes to that. Yankees just need to get their head out of their ass and win some games, but they're about to lose the series to Washington here tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, I was watching it.
So I don't think I have much else for baseball. Again, we're in the dog days. Here we go. In about a month from now, once the playoffs start, we'll kind of ramp it back up and change how we're talking baseball a little bit. But for now, we just got to get to the playoffs. I mean, it's been a long summer. We know what's going on.
Just get energy for football. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's football season. Next week, we will deep dive into NFL again. We will pick every game from every week and keep a tally just kind of like we did last year. So that'll be fun. So that'll all start next week. I don't think I have anything else for baseball. You, Roy?
Nope, that's good.
All right. Miscellaneous. I do have a game for you, Roy.
Oh, great.
I'm going to – after this week, I will be rolling back into my bets because football will start. A lot of people like to bet on football versus baseball. So next week, we will be back to the bets. But let me get it. Yeah. Can you see my screen, Roy?
I can see your screen. Just the active rush leaders quiz.
Active NFL players who have the most rushing yards. Okay. Now, I'll let you look at the board. It shows what teams. Now, this is before the season. So I'll give you a hint. The number one answer, do you have a guess?
Well, it'll be Derrick Henry.
So it doesn't say Baltimore because it's not counting this upcoming season. So I took this today, and it did trick me on a few because a few I kind of looked at like not Henry, but the same scenario. He doesn't play for that team anymore. You know, so you do have to think. And this is active players, but I will give you another hint. Some of them are not on a roster, but they have not retired. Okay.
Huh. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Wow.
All right. You have 5 minutes, Roy, and I can't change the timer. So you got 5 minutes. There's 30 of them. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor. I'm not going down the line because I'm just going by who I.
Taylor.
Let's see. Mixon. Is it Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon.
McCaffrey.
Yes, he's on there.
Jones.
Jones who?
Aaron Jones.
He's on there. I'll type in McCaffrey in a second. Oop, that's not how I wanted it. Oh, go ahead.
We got it.
Yeah.
Jacobs.
Jacobs is on there. Kamara's on there.
Lamar Jackson. So that's his quarterback.
Lamar Jackson is on there. Hold on 1 second. I'm coming. I'm getting your McCaffrey pick. Okay, McCaffrey. Jackson. Correct.
James Conner.
Correct.
Miles Sanders.
Correct.
God. Austin Eckler.
Correct.
Nick Chubb.
Correct.
Okay, I thought that was who it was. I was looking at. Baltimore. That one with the ball, all the freaking names, huh? Don't even know who that. Dalvin Cook.
Correct.
Oh, that was not where I was looking at.
Not
But
the
hey,
one. I know not the one you're looking. but I
Russell
know it's correct.
Wilson. No,
Correct.
sorry. Oh, really?
Nope. Russell Wilson's on there.
I forgot because I'm looking at Pittsburgh. I'm like, oh crap.
It's all right.
Saquon Barkley.
Correct.
Gosh, James Cook. No, that wouldn't be right.
You already have Cook.
Josh Allen.
Correct.
Elliott.
Correct.
Where's he at?
Second.
Oh, so I forgot he was in New England. See, I forgot about that right there.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Correct. How crazy is that?
That's
Aaron Rodgers.
I just having to look down there. Gosh,
That is the last quarterback.
Mozart.
Correct.
Oh gosh, Tony Pollard.
Correct. You're doing better on this than I thought you would.
J.K. Dobbs.
Nope, that's incorrect. I took this today and not correct.
Najee Harris.
Correct. I didn't think he was on there when I typed it either.
Montgomery.
Correct.
I am doing better than I thought I would. Jeez. What is his name? Gosh. I can't remember his name. Back up in Cleveland. What's in Kansas City? Dang, I can't think of the top of his name. Running back.
Correct.
Can't think of his name now. Off the top of my head. Though.
I know.
Singletary.
Correct. It's correct. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Now I'm struggling. Gus
You're
Edwards?
at the point where a couple. You say Gus Edwards?
Yeah.
Correct.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
Now I'm struggling. So I can think of people. I just can't think of their name.
You have two more players who are currently on a roster. The other ones are players who have played and aren't on a roster, but they aren't retired either.
Is Swift on there?
Nope.
The
active player is the Green Bay, Detroit, New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his
and then
name.
the other active players, you know who he is. You can't think of his name. Kansas City and Cleveland.
Yeah.
You got 35 seconds.
Yeah. Dang it. I'm like, who is the Baltimore? Yeah, I'm out because I want to.
Okay.
Who's the Baltimore Buffalo?
I'm just gonna let this time run out in 19 seconds. I just want to let you know, Roy. I took this quiz today. I did get a 100%.
Did you? Well,
I got it with about 11 seconds left or so. Was the one that took me a while was this guy. But I'll let you see the names as it populates right here.
Kenyon Drake, Jamal Williams. Kareem Hunt. Damn it, Leonard Fournette. Yeah. I forgot about a couple of these guys.
Yep. Haven't retired technically.
Leonard Fournette's on you. Oh.
Last play for Buffalo, I want to say 2 years ago. But hasn't officially retired. Right. So that's my game. You did better than I thought. And you did better than the average. Congratulations.
Hey, I am better than average, so. All right, should we do I could either do a quote or we could do one of Bryce's Mount Rushmore.
Oh, let's play a game.
Do what? We'll do the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, what I was wanting to do is the Mount Rushmore of cereals.
Oh, man. Okay.
And I'll even let you go first.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not a crazy cereal person. Never had been. But with the number one overall pick, we going to do 4 each?
Yep, 4 each.
I will take Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
You can have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't like Cinnamon Toast. My number one and my favorite, Wheaties.
That is my least favorite, so you can have it.
You're not going to like it, probably end in mine, so.
Okay. So you get technically again.
Hell, you're not gonna pick this one. Frosted Mini Wheats. is my second favorite.
Disgusting. Roy, you're losing the draft because of this.
No, I am getting it because that's the two best so far.
No. I was actually almost going to take this with my first one, but the milk's not as good rather than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. My second one's going to be Fruit Loops. I almost said Fruity Pebbles. Fruit Loops. Those are gas.
You can have that.
And my third one is Reese's Puffs.
Oh, I figured you'd have the one of the top ones.
Nope. I mean, I got it with value. I'm kicking your ass, Roy.
Whatever. My last two will be all right. So I'm just going with my favorites. All right.
Well, you're losing.
No, they're the two best.
Roy, TikTok is going to let us know, but I won this already. It's not even close.
Honey Nut Cheerios is my number 3.
Okay. It's bad, but I can live with it. At least
No,
it's
that's
edible.
not bad. It's awesome.
Nobody
And
gives a
then
shit about health.
Huh?
No one gives a shit about your heart, Roy.
No, that's just my favorites. They're the best ones.
That's even worse.
And then number 4, I would probably go with Captain Crunch.
That's a solid answer. That's the first one that you said. That would have been in
all
debate for my
4
last one.
are the best you could possibly get.
My last one, I'm hard. I got it tough because fuck it. I'll pick the unhealthy one. I'm gonna go Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, it was. I thought you were gonna pick Frosted Flakes, so I was gonna pick a healthy one at the end, which
What were you gonna pick?
most people don't like, but I low key kind of like them. Is Raisin Bran Crunch? Has to be Crunch though.
No,
Cannot be just Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran is better than Crunch.
No, it's not. I was crazy.
I had my last 3. I had 3 at the last one. I was either gonna do Captain Crunch, which I did, Lucky Charms, or Raisin Bran. I like Raisin Bran.
I used to love Lucky Charms, but I used to never eat the cereal portion of it, just the marshmallows.
Gosh. So that was I figured with Bryce, I was hoping to hear what he had to say.
He would have picked some good ones because I know he eats cereal a lot.
I'm sure he does.
But I won the draft. It wasn't even close.
He probably picked like Cocoa Puffs and
yeah, they're good. All right, Roy, you got anything?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Again, next week we will start the episode by deep diving NFL, picking our games, talking about fantasy a little bit if you wanted to, whatever. Then we'll roll into college football recap, week 1. We'll go over a quick baseball update. Should be a little bit, we're going to push an hour next month or next week because we're going to go over some football content. Football's back. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go check out our TikTok channel.
Hail
See you next week. Peace out.
Gotta find my way to you.